I was reading a definition of the word boss, and it read, a person who makes decisions, exercises authority, dominates, etc. And, the definition really fits the word boss. And I wanted to talk about how men are often viewed as the boss in corporate America, or when you hear the word boss, you envision usually a man that is in charge, or a man who is your director or your supervisor. But you never tend to envision a woman when you hear the word boss. And I found the definition boss to be very interesting because it says a person who makes decisions and exercises authority, dominates, etc. The definition never says a man or a male who makes decisions, exercises authority, dominates, etc. It says a person. So I like the definition of boss because it's not gender specific. It doesn't say man or woman or male or female. But yet we live in a world which has pretty much controlled us and influenced our thinking about who a boss is. And usually when you hear the word boss, you think about a man who is in a position of authority. But that's because we live in a patriarchal society. It is a patriarchal world, which means men who dominate the world or men who dominate societies. And that's why when you go to work, most of the people who are in leadership are men. They dominate in every sector of business, in economics. They're men. You rarely will find a large number of women who are in executive positions or managerial positions, director positions. There are some, but you can literally count them on one hand in an entire organization. Like, think of the most prominent, well-known companies that exist today globally. Who is leading that organization, that company, that business? 9 times out of 10, it's a man. But does that mean that because men are the ones who lead these companies and because men tend to be the boss, or men usually earn more money than women, does that mean that men are better leaders than women? Or does that mean that men should only be the authority figures and not women? Well, I don't think that men are better leaders than women. I don't think that men are the only ones who should be in positions of authority. And the reason why I believe this is because it never was set up to where a man should only lead. a man should only be in a position of authority. Even from a spiritual basis, biblically, women used to dominate the world. Women were not in a subjective position to a man. Initially, that's the way the world was. That's the way God designed human beings. Women were put on the earth to dominate the world. Men were put on the earth to dominate the world. But this is what people always fail to understand or focus on. They always think that a man is supposed to exercise control over women or overpower women. But God never intended people to overpower each other or control other people. See, God never designed human beings to control other people. God gave people free will. And what he did do, he set people up to dominate the world, not people. That means he created you to be a natural born leader. He gave you authority and power, and he still does. But when it comes to relationships, well, things kind of got a bit weird because of the fall of man. And specifically with heterosexual relationships. Now you have a man being the head of the wife. And I stress that's for heterosexual relationships. But even then, when it says he's the head of his wife, he has to have a wife. This doesn't apply to you having a girlfriend. This doesn't apply to just any woman in the world. Just because she's a woman and you're a man, you think you should exercise dominance and control over her or be the head of her. No, it says you are the head of your wife. And when you are a head of your wife, that means that you got to have your head on right. You got to lead right. And the only way you can lead right as a man is you have to be a man of God. Or else you don't get to have a wife. But when it comes to being a lesbian, well, that's a whole nother dynamic. Because the lesbian relationship dynamic is very different from heterosexual relationships. And as lesbians, we're women, we're equals. And we actually really like women who are boss. We like a woman who is in a position of being a boss. We like a woman who has a boss mentality. It's actually an aphrodisiac. It actually motivates us. It inspires us. And it helps us to formulate a beautiful partnership together. You see, when two women come together and they love each other and they utilize their gifts and their talents and their natural affinity for women, that is undeniable. The bond, the power dynamic of a lesbian relationship, it's really a beautiful sight to see. And I was thinking about how there's a lot of gender wars that are going on in the heterosexual community. You have men fighting women all the time, and then women fighting men. It's a lot of back and forth drama. And it's all about power. It's all about control. It's about dominance. And ultimately, they want the world to stay set up where men are in control. And men want to control women. Men want to exercise their power and their authority over women. And that's why there's so much chaos in this world. Although lesbians are attracted to women, like heterosexual men are attracted to women, our attractions have nuances. And we don't always like the same things. For one, men don't like women who are bosses. They don't like a woman who has an authority, leadership mindset. It's just very unattractive to most men. But when it comes to women with women, or women who love women, we find it very appealing to be with a woman who is a decision maker, a woman who takes charge, a woman who has a spine. She knows who she is. She handles her business. She's not easily dismayed. She doesn't allow other people to dictate her life. She takes action with her own life and in every avenue of her life, whether that is what she does for a living. She could be an entrepreneur. She may be a woman who works for a Fortune 500 company. And then also in her personal, private life with her family, her friends, her loved ones, people may tend to go to her for answers. She's usually always very active with her family or in the community. She is someone who is reliable, who's trustworthy. She's empathetic. She is considered to be emotionally intelligent. And she's a go-getter. And these qualities are very appealing and attractive in a woman. And it actually, of course, flows into her romantic relationships with women. So I'll just give you an example. There's different types of lesbian relationship dynamics. Most people think of the lesbian relationship where there's the more masculine presenting woman and her partner is the more feminine presenting woman. But that's one type of relationship dynamic between lesbians, but it's not the only one. We basically, as women who love women, we have our female hormones, but energetically, we possess both male and female hormones to create balance in us. And some of us lean more to our feminine energy or our masculine energy. But we are drawn to a partner who is very balanced. And what I mean by balanced is she is a partner who complements you as a woman. So we all have strengths and weaknesses. And we all have different personality types, but we also have different energy. And some of us are more drawn to different energy levels in a woman, more feminine energy or more masculine energy. And so whoever is compatible for you, when you're drawn together like a magnet, then that makes a very good fit of a partnership between women. And this energy, this feminine energy or this more masculine energy, varies in the woman, but she knows who she's attracted to, and they basically complement one another in their lesbian relationship. And this can look externally different. Like you may have two feminine women together where they're both feminine presenting, but their energy, one may be more feminine in her energy, one may be more masculine in her energy. This also happens in relationships between two women who maybe one of them is tomboyish, maybe one is more of a stud or a butch, but they're all lesbian relationships. And every woman is attracted to whoever she's attracted to. We all have a type of woman that appeals to us and who is considered a good fit in a partnership. And one dynamic about being in a relationship as a woman who loves women is we love a woman who has a go-getter, take charge spirit. A woman who knows who she is, knows what she wants, and she accomplishes it. And if she has not accomplished her goal, she is on the path to achieving and reaching her dreams. Lesbians are really not passive at all. We are very proactive in our lives. And a lot of this comes from the fact that we've been marginalized in society. We've been discriminated against for being women, but also for being lesbians. And then if you are a Black woman, you've experienced even more challenges in life than other women who are of different races, who are non-Black, because of the experience we have as Black lesbian women in a society that is very prejudiced and very racist. So our experiences are different, even though we are all lesbians, because your race does affect you in life. You are treated differently. And with these challenges, it can either make you or break you. And lesbians, because of the uphill battle, we want to reach the mountaintop. So we do whatever we can to get to the top of the mountain. And many of us are viewed as being too aggressive, too strong, competitive. And they use these descriptive adjectives to describe lesbians because they, in a sense, are wanting to control us. They want us to be docile, submissive. But what they don't understand is that being submissive requires for you to be in a relationship with a person. But being submissive does not mean that you're docile. Being submissive does not mean that you're being controlled. Being submissive simply means that you show respect for your partner. And see, lesbians have a respect for a woman who has a boss mentality, because we know that woman is going to respect us in return. She's going to love us in return. She's going to protect us in return. She's going to make sure that we are taken care of emotionally and mentally, physically, spiritually, and sexually. So it's easy to submit to a woman who has all of these qualities. A woman who submits does not mean that she's weak. A woman who submits does not mean that she doesn't have a mind of her own. Or a woman who submits does not mean that she needs someone to train her and lead her. She already knows who she is as well. The trade-off of being a lesbian and being in a relationship or marriage with a woman who has a boss mentality is that we bring our gifts, we bring our contributions into the relationship, which makes the relationship flourish and blossom. Like, she may be very good at being an entrepreneur. Like, she knows how to operate her business on an A1 level. Whereas her partner or her female wife, she may be a director of a Fortune 500 company. So she's like in the top 1% of women who are in executive directorial positions in a man-driven corporate work environment. So they bring different skills and contributions to their own relationship together, but also it extends into their finances, and economically, they're doing very well. And I often talk about the lesbian wage premium. The lesbian wage premium actually confirms what I'm already talking about, but specifically the lesbian wage premium enlightens you that lesbians earn more money than heterosexual women. And the reason behind the lesbian wage premium is because lesbians statistically have more education than heterosexual women. They also are usually more financially independent, and due to their lifestyle, they tend to be in positions of leadership because they have more freedom and they're not under the heterosexual relationship dynamic. And women who identify as heterosexual, who are in relationships with men, whether they're married to a man or not, they earn less money than their male partner, but they even earn less money than lesbian women who are single. So a single lesbian woman usually earns more income than a heterosexual woman who is married. And you can actually go and find out more about the lesbian wage premium, which will basically confirm what I mean by lesbians like boss women. They do, because what can I say? We're boss women. And as you can see, the title of my video is Lesbians Like Boss Women, Unlike Men. I am Giselle Wallace, certified life coach and author. Here on my YouTube channel, I provide my lesbian perspective. And if that interests you, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share the video, and support the channel. You can actually press the thanks button and donate a financial contribution to support my YouTube channel. and my contributions to the lesbian community and the LGBTQIA plus community. Thank you. Lesbians like boss women, unlike men. So men don't tend to like to be with women who out earn them. It becomes very unattractive to a man when a woman makes more money than him on average. And they don't like when their women are always away from the house. She's working more hours than him. And I can understand, to be fair, I can understand why a man doesn't want his woman always away from the house, always at work. But I don't necessarily agree with men who have an issue with a woman making more money than a man. I think that a woman making money is a very good thing. And if she makes more money than a man, I think it's a good thing as well. The reason why is because, well, it benefits both of you. But men don't usually think that way. And so that is a significant difference that lesbians have from men. Even though we like women, lesbians are very different from heterosexual men. For one, we're not the same sex or gender. Males and females are not the same. We don't think the same. We don't operate the same. We don't have the same desires or feelings. And when it comes to lesbian relationships, I don't have a problem with a woman making more money than me. I'm going to be like, hallelujah. And every woman I've ever dated, if she found out I made more money than her, she was like, hallelujah. Like, none of us had a problem with that. I've never been in a relationship with the woman and we were fighting about money. Like, oh, you make more money than me? How dare you? Oh, no. You need to stay home. You just need to be a housewife and just stay at the house. I'll do all the working. Like, I never been in a relationship like that, and I never will. I know they say never, but I'm going to say never because, for one, that's a huge issue to me, to be with someone who has a problem with me making money, because making money is a blessing. And I'm going to utilize my gifts and talents that God has given me, which means that I'm going to work. And I already provide for myself, so I don't expect to just suddenly get in a relationship with a woman and expect her to take care of me and for me to stop working. Now, if that's a personal decision for you in your relationship, that's fine. I'm not saying that there's a problem with a woman being a housewife. That's not what I mean. But the bigger issue behind it is, why is she a housewife? Is that really what she wanted to do? Because most women, they have a dream. They have a vision. And many women are in these dead-end relationships with men who coerce them into being housewives, when really that's not what she wanted to do. But she's doing it to keep peace in her home with that man. Because she knows that man starts getting an attitude. He starts threatening her with, oh, well, I'm going to leave you. And all of these shenanigans she has to go through just to keep a man around. So she has to pretty much bring herself down 3, 4, 5, 6 notches so he feels like the man of the house. That's the issue I have. Like, I'm not going to be fighting with someone, or I'm not going to downplay who I am as a woman for anybody. So that's what I mean by, I will never be with someone who is going to try to control and manipulate my pockets, because my pockets are my pockets, not yours. So I choose whether I want to be in a relationship or not. And someone who wants to control my pockets is someone who will never be in a relationship with me. And I haven't had any issues as a lesbian with women about how much money I make or how much money I don't make. And one of the things that I've noticed about like heterosexual women, they will usually say like it's, with the whole heterosexual dynamic and their dating and relationships, they always say, oh, he's got to make six figures, right? So 6 figures or more. And men are just stressed, because they're considered to be the providers in a heterosexual relationship. So if this man is not making 6 figures, then a lot of these guys are out here doing stuff illegal to get enough money so they can impress women. Or they're doing work that they really don't want to do to please a woman. So it's a lot of different things going on because, that's a lot of pressure to me. If a woman tells a man, you got to earn 6 figures, I don't agree with that. I don't even agree with women telling a man that. So it goes both ways. It's like, I don't agree with a man telling a woman that she shouldn't make more money than him, or him, pretty much forcing her to either stay at home as a housewife or only work part-time, or she can only earn a certain amount of money per year. And it must be less than what he makes. Like, that is horrible. And then you have the kind of women who are saying, oh, he has to earn 6 figures. But then what is she doing? Like, if she thinks that she's going to stay at home and play all day while he's out there going crazy trying to meet 6 figures every year, well, that's toxic as well. And I just don't think that is healthy, and it's not financial wellness. Most people don't know what financial wellness means. There's a reason why that term financial wellness exists. You can earn a lot of money and still not have financial wellness. So, being a boss is more than how much money you make. What kind of character do you have? Is your heart in the right place? Before you can even think about being in a relationship, you need to have a relationship with yourself, and it needs to be healthy and good. And so I'm not saying that you need to earn 6 figures to be in a relationship with someone. Let me just tell you, as a lesbian, we really don't care if our woman earns 6 figures or more. We really don't care. If she earns 6 figures or more, like I said earlier, hallelujah. If she only makes $90,000 a year, $80,000 a year, $70,000 a year, $50,000 a year, hallelujah. The woman is working. She has income, income. That means she has money coming in, and it's not even your money. She's making a living on her own. She was making a living before she knew you, and she's going to continue to make a living after you. So why are people so obsessed about another person's pockets? But as lesbians, we just look at it like, okay, baby, you working. I'm good. Do what you want to do. Like, I'm not going to pressure her to go out and earn 6 figures. The only time there's a problem when it comes to income is when the person is lazy, when the person refuses to work, when a person has a mindset of somebody else taking care of them. Like, that's a spoiled brat. That's not a boss. So that's what I mean by lesbians like boss women, unlike men. Like, I've seen men who will date a woman who does not have any type of work knowledge or skills. Like, she doesn't do anything. And she's literally lazy. But he'll be with her. You know why? Oh, because she looks good. She look real good. And that's all he cares about. But that's a flaw. That's a flaw in choosing a person strictly because of how they look. Like, I don't want to be with a woman who does not know how to take care of herself. Like, she needs to know how to take care of herself, because if she doesn't know how to take care of herself while she's single, then automatically I'm thinking, ding, 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 ding. The alarms are going off in my head, and I'm saying, oh, she's going to be a liability. I don't care how good she looks. She's a liability in so many ways. Because being a boss doesn't start with how much money you make. It starts with your mentality, how you think. And that's why lesbians like boss women, unlike men. Get you a boss woman. But just keep in mind, ladies, before you can get a boss woman, you need to be your own boss. Boss your own life first. I am Giselle Wallace, certified life coach and author. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Contact me if you are interested in receiving life coaching. I am also an instructor of my own private academy, and it's called Giselle Wallace Lesbian Academy. Register. Thank you. Have a boss day.